Hello and welcome back to the Regimentals YouTube channel. Today I am in Virginia and I am visiting the National Museum of the Marine Corps, the USMC. So just about to go in. I hope you enjoy the video. conflict of the Battle of Iwo Jima is probably one of the most famous in the Marine Corps, US Marine Corps history. And everyone knows the famous memorial of the flag being raised by the US soldiers. And I found out some interesting facts about this, because I was always under the impression that the raising of the flag was a staged event for propaganda. The famous photographer Rosenthal is known for taking this famous photograph. And after speaking to the curator at the museum, he explained to me that there was actually two flags used. The first time they raised a flag on the beach, and it was just too small. So they found a larger flag, and they raised the larger flag, and he took that famous photograph of the larger flag being raised. And here at the museum is that actual flag, the larger flag. A fantastic thing to see that flag. But how the story goes is he'd already taken a photograph of soldiers waving their guns and their hats in the air with the flag behind them, and he was asked, is that photograph staged? And he said yes, because he was thinking of the photograph of all the soldiers celebrating with their hats off and their guns in the air. But the reporter was actually asking about the flag being raised. Is that a staged photograph? And because he said yes, the rumour went round that the photograph was a staged event. But of course, it was not. It was a second flag, but it was not a staged event. And I just thought that was a really interesting piece of information. And here at the museum also is fantastic to see artifacts that were picked up in that battle. There was a fantastic Japanese sword and a helmet picked up at the Battle of Iwo Jima. hope you enjoyed the video. It's a fantastic museum. The size of it is immense. I guess we shouldn't really expect anything else from the United States, but really interesting museum, really thorough history of the US Marines, right from their concept, the inception, right through all of the wars, including a really detailed displays on Iraq and Afghanistan. I thought the Vietnam War section was quite small, there wasn't much there, but everything else really fantastic. And of course to see the flag raised for Iwo Jima, the famous statue, that was obviously the highlight of the video. So we're off to the Max show now in York, Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoyed the museum, I hope you enjoyed the video.